Who could say no to a little turtle carrying purple grapes? Look at those tiny grape details and the soft pastel colors. It honestly feels so calming to crochet. Today, we're making this cozy little grape turtle together, step by step, and it's really beginner friendly too. If you'd like something easier to follow later, the full written pattern is also in my Etsy shop, so you won't have to keep rewinding the video. Alright, let's start crocheting together. I'm using number 3 DK weight cotton yarn with a 3mm crochet hook for this project. Let's start with the base of our little turtle here. This is the belly section. We're starting with a magic ring here. Make 6 single crochets into the ring. Hold your yarn gently here, and bring it over your finger. Wrap it once around, and hold the crossing point steady. Go ahead and insert your hook into the ring. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over here, and pull back through. Tighten the ring and chain 1 to start. This chain does not count as a stitch. Go back into the ring. Pull up a loop nice and steady. Yarn over again, and pull through both loops. That completes your first single crochet. We'll be using yarn under single crochet here. Place a stitch marker in the first stitch, and keep going with the same motion. Continue until you have 6 stitches, then gently pull the ring closed. Once it's tight, we'll move on. Remove the stitch marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Go into that first stitch. Pull the yarn through gently. Catch the loop on your hook, and pull it through. That completes your slip stitch. And that finishes round 1. For round 2, we'll increase in every stitch. That means 2 single crochets in each stitch. You'll end with 12 stitches. Chain 1 to begin. Go into the first stitch. Place your marker in that first stitch. Stay in the same stitch, and make another single crochet. Repeat this all the way around, same rhythm here. Nice and steady. Once you finish the round, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 2. You can trim the yarn tail slightly. Now we'll move into round 3. This is where it starts to change. 1 single crochet, then 1 increase. Repeat 6 times. You'll have 18 stitches. Chain 1 to begin. Place your marker. Start with 1 single crochet, then an increase in the next stitch. Repeat this pattern. Same rhythm here. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that's round 3 done. For round 4, we build a bit more shape. 1 single crochet, then 1 increase, then 1 single crochet. Repeat 6 times for 24 stitches. Chain 1 and place your marker. Start your first single crochet. Then an increase. Then 1 single crochet. Repeat this all the way around. Remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. That completes round 4. Now into round 5. This repeats evenly, 3 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat 6 times. You'll have 30 stitches. Chain 1 and place your marker. Make 3 single crochets, then 1 increase. Repeat around. Once finished, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that's round 5 done. Now, round 6. We'll build a bit more width here. 2 single crochets, then 1 increase, then 2 single crochets. Repeat 6 times. You'll end with 36 stitches. Chain 1 and place your marker. And begin here. Make 2 single crochets, then 1 increase, then 2 single crochets. Repeat this pattern around. Once all 6 sets are done, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 6. Now let's start round 7. For this round, make 5 single crochets, then 1 increase. Repeated 6 times, you'll have 42 stitches. Chain 1 to begin. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make 5 single crochets, then make 1 increase. Repeat that pattern 6 times. When the round is done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 7. Now for round 8, make 3 single crochets, 1 increase, then 3 single crochets. You'll have 48 stitches. Chain 1 to begin round 8. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make 3 single crochets, then make 1 increase. Then make 3 more single crochets. Repeat this full set 6 times. Once it's done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to close the round. And that completes round 8. Now, for round 9, make 7 single crochets, then 1 increase. Repeat 6 times for 54 stitches. Chain 1 to begin. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make 7 single crochets. Then make 1 increase. Repeat this set 6 times. Just keep going around. Same rhythm here. When the round is done, remove the marker, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 9. For round 10, make 54 single crochets. Chain 1 to begin round 10. Place your marker in the first stitch. Work 54 single crochets around. When round 10 is done, remove the marker, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 10. At this point, the turtle belly section is finished. Make 1 chain to secure it. Leave just a short yarn tail. Cut the yarn and gently pull it tight. And the little turtle belly is all done. Now let's start the turtle head. We'll use a magic ring again. Make 6 single crochets into the ring. Place your marker in the first stitch. After 6 stitches, pull the ring closed. Remove the stitch marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 1 of the head. For round 2, increase in every stitch. You'll have 12 stitches. Chain 1 to begin round 2. When you're ready, place your marker in the first stitch. Make your single crochet increase. Repeat the increases 6 times. When the round is done, remove the marker, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 2 of the head. Let's move into round 3. Make 1 single crochet, then 1 increase. Repeat 6 times for 18 stitches. Chain 1 to begin round 3. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make 1 single crochet. Then increase in the next stitch. Repeat this set 6 times. When the round is done, remove the marker, slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Next, rounds 4 and 5 are the same, 18 single crochets around. For round 4, chain 1 to begin. Place your marker in the first stitch. Work 18 single crochets around. When round 4 is done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 4. Round 5 is worked the same way. When finished, slip stitch into the first stitch, and round 5 of the head is done. Now let's make round 6. For round 6, make 4 single crochets, then 1 decrease, repeated 3 times. You'll have 15 stitches. Chain 1 to begin. Place your marker in the first stitch. Now let's learn the decrease. Each stitch makes a little V shape. For the decrease, use the front loops only, and combine 2 stitches into one. The front loop is the loop closest to you. That's the front half of the stitch. Find the first stitch, insert into the front loop, then find the second stitch. Insert into the front loop again. Yarn over here. Pull the yarn through gently. Yarn over again, and pull through both loops. That completes the decrease. Now continue with 4 single crochets, and 1 decrease. Repeat that set 3 times. When the round is done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 6. Next, round 7 is 15 single crochets around. Chain 1 to begin round 7. Place your marker in the first stitch. Work 15 single crochets around. When the round is done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that completes round 7. Now, let's make round 8. 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. Repeat 3 times for 12 stitches. Chain 1 to begin round 8. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make 3 single crochets. Then make 1 decrease. Repeat this set 3 times. Once it's done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 8 is finished here, and the turtle head is all crocheted. Leave a long yarn tail here. A little longer is better. We'll use it later to close and sew the head. Now add stuffing into the head. Once the stuffing is in, fold the head flat and sew it closed, starting from the slip stitch area. Sew into the matching stitch across. Try to match 1 stitch to 1 stitch. We can sew 3 stitches first. The rest can be sewn freely. There's no strict rule here. These 2 side stitches can be sewn now, or left open for now. You can secure them later during assembly. Either way works just fine. You can also bring the sewing needle to the other side and add 2 more stitches to shape it. Once it's secured, bring the yarn tail to the back side. Where the slip stitch seam is, choose the slip stitch area, and follow the stitch texture. Hide the yarn tail inside the stitches. Trim the extra yarn after hiding it. And the turtle head is fully finished. All 4 legs are made the same way. We need to make 4 pieces. Start each leg with a magic ring. Make 6 single crochets into the ring. If you're new, mark the first stitch. After 6 stitches, pull the ring closed. Remove the marker and join to the first stitch. You can crochet over the yarn tail as you join. And round 1 of the leg is done. For round 2, increase in every stitch. You'll have 12 stitches. Chain 1 to begin round 2. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make your single crochet increase. Repeat the increases 6 times. When the round is done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 2 of the leg is done. For round 3, make 1 single crochet, then 1 increase. Repeat 6 times for 18 stitches. Chain 1 to begin round 3. Place your marker in the first stitch. Make 1 single crochet, then make 1 increase. Repeat this set 6 times. When the round is done, remove the marker. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 3 of the leg is done. For round 4, fold the piece and make 9 single crochets. Chain 1 to begin round 4. Insert into the first stitch and into the matching stitch across. Go through both layers together, then make a regular single crochet. This is how we crochet it folded. Make 9 single crochets in total. Make the first single crochet, then the second one. Remember to go through both layers. Each stitch goes through both sides. Repeat this for 9 stitches. After 9 stitches, chain 1 and cut the yarn. You only need a short tail here. Gently tighten the loop. Thread the tail onto your sewing needle. Insert from the last stitch and follow the stitch texture through. Just hide the yarn tail inside. Then trim the extra short tail. And now, 1 turtle leg is finished. Keep the same steps and make 4 legs in total. Let's start with the turtle shell first. And we'll begin with the grape section. First we'll crochet the little leaf here. Leave a slightly longer yarn tail with the green yarn, so we can use it for the stem later. We'll start with a magic ring here. Wrap the yarn over your pinky, bring it across your index finger, then wrap around your middle finger once. Insert the hook into the loop and pull up the yarn. Now, chain 2 to begin. These chains won't count as a stitch. Chain 1 and chain 2. Now let's make 5 unfinished half double crochets. Yarn over. Go into the ring and pull up a loop. Leave the last loops on the hook here. Try to keep the loops about the same height. Two, looking good. 3, 4. Once all 5 unfinished stitches are done, yarn over and pull through all the loops at once. Then chain 1. That gives us 1 petal. Repeat this 5 times. All 5 petals are finished. Chain 1 and cut the yarn here. And now the grape leaf is finished. You can leave the center a little loose here, or tighten it all the way if you prefer. For the second row, we'll work between the petals, right into this opening here. We'll have 4 groups total. Now grab the grape colored yarn. Go right into the larger opening and pull up the yarn. You can crochet over the yarn tail to hold it down. Chain 2. These chains won't count as a stitch. Inside the opening here, make 5 unfinished half double crochets. Three, 4. Once the 5 unfinished stitches are done, move right into the next opening and make another 5 unfinished stitches. Just keep following that same rhythm all the way across. Once all 5 groups are finished, we'll work back in reverse. 1 section at a time, yarn over. Pull through the first 5 unfinished stitches, which makes the first petal here. Then chain 1. Now move back to the second petal. Chain 1. Then back into the third one. Chain 1. And chain 1 after the last group. And now all 4 petals are finished. The third row is worked the same way as the second row here, but this time we'll make 3 groups, working into the larger openings between them. Five unfinished half double crochets. Repeat that 3 times. Then work back 1 group at a time. And that finishes the third row. Next we'll crochet the fourth row. It's worked the same way as the third row, but with only 2 groups. Start the first group with 5 unfinished half double crochets. Next group. Then work back 1 group at a time. Next we'll crochet the 5th row, which is the final row. It's worked the same way as the 4th row, but with only one group. Five unfinished half double crochets, chain 1. And now the 5th row is finished. Next we'll add slip stitches across these 4 rows here. You can work into the back loops while making the slip stitches. For slip stitches, chain 1 at the end, then cut the yarn. Pull it tight, then weave in both yarn tails on the back side to finish. Now let's tighten the yarn tail from the grape leaf. Once that's tight, we'll make a little grape stem. Just bring the yarn through this opening right here and chain 8. You can adjust the chain length if you'd like. Just make it whatever length feels right. Once the 8 chains are done, slip stitch back into the opening. Then chain 1. Pull the short tail tight. Then hide the yarn tail along the back side. Just weave it through a few stitches and press it down a little. Now, grab the main body yarn and we'll switch colors here. For the grape section, along the grape shape, pick up 13 stitches total. Start right at the pointed tip here. For the 13 stitches, besides the very tip, there should be 6 stitches on each side. Switch yarn. Hold the yarn and chain 1. This won't count as a stitch. Right into the pointed tip, make 3 half double crochets. For a half double crochet, yarn over. Go into the stitch, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and that makes a half double crochet. Place a stitch marker into the first stitch. Three half double crochets into the same stitch. Next, along this side of the grape, make 3 double crochet increases. For a double crochet, yarn over. Go into the stitch, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, then pull through the last 2 loops, and that makes 1 double crochet. A double crochet increase is just 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Repeat the double crochet increase 3 times. All 3 increases are finished. You can see these stitches are worked underneath each petal section here. Next, under this petal, pick up any stitch here. Work 1 stitch here, 1 stitch between the petals, and 1 stitch at the bottom here. Then we'll make 3 half double crochet increases total, so that's 3 groups all together. Yarn over. 1/2 double crochet increase. Two groups. And 3 groups finishes this side. Now let's work along the other side. This side will match the first side. So here, we'll begin with 3 half double crochet increases. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And that finishes round 6. You should have 27 stitches total. 4. Round 7, we'll do 1 double crochet, then 1 double crochet increase. Repeat that pattern 9 times, for 36 stitches total. Chain 2 to begin here. These won't count as a stitch. Place the stitch marker into the first stitch. 1 double crochet. Then a double crochet, increase. 1 double crochet, repeat that 9 times. Remove the stitch marker, and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And now, round 7 is finished. For round 8 we'll begin with 3 half double crochets, then 1 half double crochet increase. Repeat that 4 times, then work 3 double crochets, followed by 1 double crochet increase. Repeat that twice, then again work 3 half double crochets, followed by 1 half double crochet increase. Repeat that 3 times, for 45 stitches total. Chain 1 to begin. Place a stitch marker into the first stitch. Three half double crochets, then 1 half double crochet increase. Repeat that 4 times. Next, we'll work 3 double crochets. Then 1 double crochet increase. Repeat that twice. for the remaining stitches. Work 3 half double crochets, then 1 half double crochet increase. Remove the stitch marker and slip stitch to join. And now, round 8 is finished. For round 9, we'll work to half double crochets, then 1 half double crochet increase. That's 1 full repeat. Repeat that 9 times. 454 stitches total. Start with 1 chain. Place a stitch marker into the first stitch. Two half double crochets. Then 1 half double crochet increase. 2 half double crochets. Repeat that 9 times. $2,000 HM. Single crochet into the last stitch here. We'll switch yarn. Leave the loop a little longer first, then switch colors. Once the loop is longer, insert the hook through all 3 loops of the unfinished stitch. Then grab the new yarn color and pull it through like this. Remove the stitch marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. While making the slip stitch, hold both yarn strands on the hook. Then pull back slightly on the old yarn loop and hold it in place. Then slip stitch. Leave a small yarn tail and trim the unused yarn. And now, round 9 is finished. And the color change is done too. Next we'll crochet round 10. This round has no increases or decreases, just 54 single crochets. Start with 1 chain. Place a stitch marker into the first stitch. And remember to crochet over the yarn tail. Repeat single crochet 54 times. Remove the stitch marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Leave a long yarn tail here for sewing the shell and belly together. Make sure to leave enough yarn. Then pull the yarn through. And now the turtle shell is finished. Once all the pieces are finished, we can start assembling everything. Next, we'll sew everything together, starting with the shell and belly. Find the slip stitch join first, then sew stitch to stitch all the way around. For the first stitch, you can sew through twice, just to secure it. Keep the yarn tails tucked inside. Then continue sewing stitch to stitch. Once you reach about the middle, we'll attach the turtle head. When you're around the halfway point, place the turtle head here. One side has the slip stitch join. That side is the back. The smoother side is the front. Keep the front side facing up. Starting from the bottom row here, into the first stitch. And now the first stitch is attached. At the first stitch, you can reinforce it with one extra stitch. Pull it snug and move into the second stitch. The second stitch is sewn straight across. Just sew through all 3 layers together, all at the same time. Then continue sewing stitch to stitch. Once you reach the end, after sewing here, keep sewing along the bottom edge. Leave a small opening here for stuffing. While stuffing, push extra stuffing into the corners, so the shape looks more rounded, a little fuller, always looks cuter here. Once it's stuffed, continue sewing the opening closed. Once finished, hide the yarn tail along the edge with the matching color. After weaving it in, trim away the extra yarn. And now the shell and belly are sewn together. Next, we'll find a nice spot for the legs and glue them into place. Then glue on the eyes as well. And that's our little grape turtle all finished. I'd really love to see your finished version, so feel free to share it with me in the comments. And if you get stuck anywhere along the way, you can always leave me a message. I'll be right here crocheting with you. Thank you so much for spending this cozy crochet time with me today, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.